Yitro said that. How? Because after he saw all of the things going on, he realized there was only one God. Okay? So now, like this. I told you that there's 7 ingredients. Okay? Let's start talking about this.
When we say 17 nations, Israel is like 69 and the Jews are 70 or 70 with us 71.
What?
When we say there are 70 nations,
There's 7 nations besides us.
Besides us. That means we are 71.
With God, we're 72. It's a long story. I'll tell you that afterwards. Okay, anyway, so now let's tie it back into our tefillin. We have one tefillin that is one box. Well, it's one box. We have one tefillin that has 4 separate boxes. We have the tefilin yad. We'll talk about that one first. The tefilin yad. What do we do? We tie 7 straps. Why 7 straps? So that we'll get to. So why 7 straps in the arm? Because I told you that the tefillin yad is now going to be. I see like you like the food. Baruch Hashem. So the tefillin yad. Listen. The tefillin yad is all about how the circumstances reveal themselves to us. Circumstances reveal themselves to us. So, how many ingredients are there in circumstances? 7, right? I told you. Hashem has 7 midot, 7 character traits by which He paints the picture. Imagine again, just think about God as if He has a paintbrush. He's got 7 colors, and He's using these colors, kivyachol, to paint the image. When you're putting on your tefillin yad, you're saying, okay, every image is going to show me what? Through 7 different colors. The message of tefillin yad is about how do you perceive the message in front of you. Okay? That's the story of tefillin yad. Says the Tzemach Tzedek, I told you there's 2 signets, 2 signs of king. The first sign is a sign that soaks in. It's a sign that is shakua. It's a sign that leaves an impression. He says that's the tefillin yad. The tefillin yad is about how do you receive the image before you. And this is why it's hidden away. Vayalecha leot ayadecha. We're not concerned about how does society perceive God's image or message. We're concerned about how do you, on an individual level, receive God's message. That's whenever you put a tefillin yad, you know what you should be seeing? Oh, God's message. How do I perceive God's message? That's what I'm seeing. I'm painting God's message on my arm. I say, wait a minute. We know that God took us out with a strong arm, right? The Yad Ramah. What's Yad Ramah? God saying, I'm painting an image with my hand. In a similar vein, you will use your hand to realize that I'm putting messages in front of you. Don't walk blindly. Realize that God says, I've put midot, I've put my actions. Look at my actions. And then you will realize the message. Just like in our example with Uncle Joe. The guy never had a relationship with Uncle Joe. He never saw Uncle Joe. He never spoke to Uncle Joe. But how does he know that he loves him? Because of the actions. Based on the actions, he realizes what Uncle Joe's true heart is. So based on the actions in front of us, we realize how much God loves us. All we do is look and say, wow, we're alive. Wow, we're Jewish. Wow, look at all the things that we have. So a person is tying himself to these images. So you wrap the 7 times.
Yeah, but is it important to tie it? Some people, they tie it very tight.
It doesn't be tight. But again, it has to be 7 spots, right? 7 spots on the form. Right.
Not touching.
Right. Why can't it be touching? Why can't it be touching? Because each one's a different color. It's different color. But again, that's what makes it important. Because if it was just a mishmash of colors, then I'll just put it like this, blah blah blah. God says, no, I'm putting each ingredient, and I want you to realize the ingredients I'm putting in here. It's like, imagine you go to a chef, and he makes you a beautiful meal. He says, no, what did I put into it? I don't know. It tastes good. No, tell me what I put into it. How much spice? It was a little bit of spice. It was a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this. And he gets excited about how much all these little nuances about what he put into it. And he wants you to feel it. He wants you to taste it. He says, you taste the special mustard I put in. No, it tastes good taste. So I don't know. Because we're not chefs. But I said, no, be on the level of a chef. Be on the level of a person who understands what's going on. Don't just put on tefillin now. Now tomorrow morning you cannot just put on tefillin. Tomorrow morning you're going to put on tefillin and say, whoa, God is talking to me. On your hands, me, I'm wrapping this ways He's talking to me.
The talit like a shield, right?
We spoke about it for like 2 months. We spoke about 2 months for the talit. You can refuse the old shiurim. So anyway, okay. So now what happened? We have kechotam alibcha kechotam azroacha. What's zroa? Zroa is your forearm. Where do you say you put a sign? You put one sign on your heart and one sign on your forearm. Okay? Now if that makes sense, what are we doing here? Okay, so now the tefillin shel yad, the whole idea, the whole concept that why is it one box? Why not 4 boxes like they have upstairs? Because when we are perceiving the image, it comes at us one box. You don't have the ability to separate time. We said that one of the ideas, again, of midat adin means the inability to see God with crystal clear clarity. That comes because we are time-bound objects. We cannot stop time. If you could stop time and you could pause here and say, whoa, let me fast forward to see what the end result is, and then I will see what all the middle pieces were leading up to it, what conclusion would you always draw? Wow, that was for the best. That was for the best. Like I said many times before, there's so many stories, again, I'm rushing, but there's so many stories of the, when the neshama goes upstairs and he has so many questions. How is it possible that this thing happened and that thing happened? And when he goes upstairs, what does he realize? Wow, he's got no more questions. Because now they showed him the entire orchestra of the image, it all made sense. When you see all the pieces, it's easy. We don't have the privilege of seeing all the pieces. We see one big piece. Like I told you many times before, Mashal, you have an artist. He draws an amazing picture. He brings the students and he says, guys, look at the picture. What an amazing image. So they're like, wow, that's pretty good. That's good. Good job, teacher. He says, you guys don't realize how great this is. What does he do? He covers the image, and every day he shows them a small portion of the image. Small portion, until on the final day, he shows them the entire image. Once they had realized every unique piece of the picture, then they realized how amazing the whole picture was. But when they first saw the picture, the big picture, they couldn't realize it. They didn't cop what it was. They couldn't understand it. So level number 1 is the ability to impression. That's why it says the Tzemach Tzedek, the first signet is the signet of impression. It's the ink seeping into the paper. He receives. That's why they also say that the 4 parshiot, Kadesh Kol Bechor and Vayaki V'Yacha, are connected the eyes. The parasha of Shema, V'Haya Im Shamoah, right ear, left ear. It says you have 4 vehicles through which you perceive things. Your eyes and your ears. Those are the way that you take in. You take in. So the take in an image with your nose. Messages. So how do you take in messages? You hear things and you see things, right? You hear things. When you're learning a piece of Gemara, you taste the piece of Gemara. So you're at a high level. But when you're learning a piece of Gemara with your chavruta, here before Amram came here, he was learning with the chavruta Gemara. How are they learning? One was saying to the other one was seeing the words. You don't smell the words, you taste the words either, right? So seeing and Yoa might put maybe a little bit of hummus on the paper. Keep the paper all it's good. Okay, anyway, so the ability to hear and see is the ability to receive. That's why the box It's all one. No separation from the box. Okay? Now that you did that part, what's the next stage? Now is a stage called hitbonenut. Remember this word, hitbonenut. That means to contemplate. Contemplation means I took the image in, I didn't just leave it. I want to think about it. I want to rationalize it. I want to tear it apart. When we take a sugya in the Gemara, how does the Gemara work? They give you a Mishnah, gives you a basic idea. Right? We'll call the Mishnah like your impression. It's what your eyes and ears saw and brought in. The Mishnah said, do X, Y, and Z. What does the Gemara do? Why do you do X, Y, and Z? You do it like this, and you do it like that, and you do it like this, and you do it like that. And why like this, and why like that? It's a whole back and forth. Where did the Gemara get its layout from? From the tefillin. The Gemara got its layout from the tefillin. What do you have? You first have tefilin shel yad. That's the impression. What is the impression that it leaves on you? When you look at ink and you seep it into the paper, it becomes part of the paper. You cannot separate the ink from the paper. Try erasing ink. It's not pencil. Pencil doesn't seep in. Pen, ink will always seep into it. That's why there's a pasuk in Kohen, I think it says that you should write it with a quill on your heart. Write with the ink on your heart. Meaning, make sure that the message seeps in, goes into the heart. So now that you received the message, you use all the tools, right? Now, what's your job? Now, start separating it. That's why you have 4 batim, 4 different houses of the things, right? Because what are you going to do now? Now the goal is what? I told you there's a chotem shakua. It's a in sync one, but now there's a chotem bolet. There's one that comes to the surface. What do you do when you're doing mitzvot and you're learning Torah? Right now, what are we doing? You know what we're doing? I told you that you have a goof. The goof has a program. What's the base program? Neshama, nefesh behemit. Nefesh behemit. That's your animalistic desires. Your animalistic desires are there to cover up the koach of the neshama. Your neshama actually has midot. It has midot. Before it came into this world, she was learning Torah. She was the midrash brings down. It brought down Ramchal brings down in Tefilin. He says that the neshama is compared to a princess. The goof is a aruni. Aruni is a caveman. Okay, princess and caveman. They get married, and the caveman after Sheva Brachot, he takes the princess to where? To his house. Where's his house? The cave. So there she's sleeping on the wood, on the stone floor, and one of 2 things will happen. Either the princess will become a caveman, or the caveman will become a princess, or a king, a royal person. Right? So one of 2 things. So that's what happens with the goof. The goof is the caveman.
Are you saying that people do it?
Sure. That's the whole purpose of relationships. The whole idea, just like how do you mimic God? You want to know how you mimic God? God influences everything, right? So too, if you sit and you influence people and you teach people, you're being God. You're God-like.
So are you being God now?
No, you're being God. It takes two. Yeah, it takes 2. That's why Yaakov is called Yaakov. Got the name of Kel, El, right? You see that when Yaakov builds an Mizbeach, right, he's called El. El is the name of God. The Mepharshim ask, how did Yaakov become called God? He's godlike. How is he godlike? Because he has the ability to influence. He's also giving, and he's also sharing, and that's the whole idea of Yud Vavke. What's Yud Vavke? Yud Vavke is the idea to take a concept and distribute it. Right? Okay, let's go back to what we're talking about now. Now we're talking